You don't doubt your logic. You doubt your ability to make that decision and stick with it. And there are a few things that you do that makes it known that you have personal distrust for yourself. And there is nothing that makes you more vulnerable than when other people are able to smell that distrust and now they go using it against you, and you make yourself an easy target for people that are trying to manipulate you. Do you ever find yourself asking a group chat what you should be doing when you've already decided? So number one is that you consistently and persistently ask for reassurance. You seek reassurance for everything. And I know we hide behind, oh, those are just my girls, or that's just my guy, I just have to double check. You don't have to do anything. You can just make the decision and get on with it. But you ask for reassurance. You do a little sidebar and you double check. Do you think that's okay? Sounds innocent, doesn't it? But you do it over everything. And that's where the challenge comes in. The number two thing that you do is that you abandon your thought so quickly. So you're thinking about something and you get that first instinct, like you get the very first idea, and then you abandon it once somebody says, maybe we can also do this and this and that. And this is just so prevalent at a workplace. You're in a meeting, you're talking, and you have this idea in your mind. You haven't even said anything out. Somebody is saying something and you're thinking it and you're like, this is making sense to me. And somebody else says something completely different from what you're thinking. All of a sudden, you assume that what you're thinking is wrong and they must be right, forgetting the reality that they can both be right. But see, because you have personal distrust for yourself, you just say nothing. You say nothing. And half of the time you realize that your idea is really better than whatever it is that they've come up with, or it could have been a wonderful addition to what they were discussing, to what the meeting is about. Even in a family setting and your siblings, you're thinking about something, but you don't say it because you feel like maybe somebody else has a better idea because they are older, they have more experience, or whatever the case may be. Just say it. You've got to trust your ideas. I'm not saying trust your gut, because I know how people feel about that, but I'm saying these ideas that comes to your brain, I mean, outside of doing some crazy, they are not particularly crazy. They're not wrong per se. It's just ideas. And that's the beauty of it. Even if you say it out loud and it wasn't received or it wasn't chosen, the point is you thought about it, it made sense in your mind, and you said something about it. But when you don't trust yourself, you become very insecure. We call it ideological insecurity. Your ideas becomes smaller and smaller. Next thing you know, you just become blank. You just don't try anymore. Your brain gets tired of getting dropped all the time, and it builds distrust in yourself. This is a big one. You know, the part where you over-explain, and I made a video already about that. Things when people don't even ask you, literally. They did not ask you. Nobody asked you, why are you explaining? Is unnecessary. When you start explaining when you are not prompted, it seems like you are trying to talk it out and rationalize whatever it is you're explaining in real time to whoever you're explaining it to. And it is just nothing that makes you more vulnerable than that, either professionally or personally. Half of the time, even when people ask you for stuff and they ask you to explain, what you do is clarify. You say about enough just to make it make more sense, but you don't need to turn it into a dissertation. That's absolutely unnecessary. But see, you're not even sure about what you're saying. So once somebody asks just a little bit of a follow-up question, you go, and next thing you know, we're lost in this conversation. Most of the time, nobody is asking you to explain. So for example, oh, why didn't you show up? I was looking for you at the event and I didn't see you. A simple response to that was, oh, I couldn't make it. And that's that. But no, oh, I couldn't make it because my child this, my this, that, and you just had to explain. Nobody asked you. And really, people don't care. And even if they did, if somebody was to ask you, I didn't see you at the event, what happened? Life is life. Okay, even at that, you don't have to explain. But when you over explain yourself, or you explain situations when you are not even prompted, it looks like you're seeking validation. Okay, it looks like you're trying to make it make sense to yourself, because whoever you were talking to probably already got it. This is the big one. You feel uneasy when things go right. And that's the weirdest thing. You thought about something, you have an idea, you made a decision, and it actually worked. And you're like, something is wrong. You're waiting for the next shoe to drop. Sometimes people feel that is anxiety. They categorize it as generalized anxiety or whatever the case may be. But the fundamental emotion behind that is trust and distrust of self. And of course, when you distrust yourself, clearly you are more anxious about everything, because it's just constant palpitation about, did I do that right? Did I say that right? Is that wrong? Da, da, da. Ultimately, you know that you have distrust for yourself if you feel uneasy or weird when something you do go right, when a decision you made was the correct one, when life is going good, and then you start feeling uneasy. That's because you don't trust the fact that this current peace and flow that you have in your life is as a result of all the good decisions that you have made. Again, it's a work in progress. Which one of these resonates with you? What have you been doing to manage it? And maybe you just didn't know you're doing it and you just found out. Well, welcome. I'm glad you found out. Take good care.